psycho killer.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Here, we can match. We can do like sort of different single ladies.
Okay, so we are back with, I guess we're back. We have Riverdale coverage. You might just have to do some work to find it.
You gotta go to this app called TVCO.
Well, okay, so we haven't posted our season 1. We've recorded season 1 footage.
True.
But it's caught up in legalities at the moment.
Yeah,
so,
we're not sure if it's happening, so.
Yeah, but if you want to watch us, I'll try and find a link and put a thing.
2 and 3, right?
Just 2.
Just 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, just 2.
If you want to watch our episodic coverage of season 2, and it's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
It is on the app TVCO. You
Yeah.
have to download the app TVCO, and you can watch them on there.
We also
and
have 3 and 4 footage on
we don't have
Patreon.
footage, but we have audio.
Audio,
If you want to
yeah.
listen podcast style
Yes.
to episodes 3 and 4, they are on our Patreon,
Yeah.
which is, did we ever memorize the Patreon?
I think it's patreon.com/so I'm watching this show. Yeah. But you can link out from our website, soimwatching.com. If you want to do that, I think you only have to be a $3 patron to get access to all the back catalog of all the shows we've done.
And they might be somewhere in our regular podcast stream.
Yeah, you can also
In
just
which
search
case,
Riverdale.
if you're too cheap to give us your $3, then you can pour through that and find it that way. But yeah, if you like what we have to say about Riverdale, and you will,
That's a bold claim.
it's my fucking favorite.
Okay, all right.
So people hate this show.
I don't understand.
They think it's serious.
No, it's not serious. I mean,
Like,
it's serious.
Well, yeah, I'm like, because I literally commented one time on a video, and I was like, so do you not understand what a soap opera is? And the person replied and just said no. And I was like, touche.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair
I was like,
enough.
I will see myself out.
At least you're honest. What am I going to say to that? No, I don't understand what a soap opera is. Look, you know what? We grew up in the time of Passions. And I had a passion for Passions. I watched a lot of Passions. This is so in that niche that I just, like, if you've never watched a single episode of, like, Days of Our Lives, you might not get it. You might not be there. But this show is incredible.
Well, it is intentionally doing the things that it's doing.
Yeah.
And it's very funny. This is one of the funniest shows on TV. Getting to this episode.
Yeah.
This was fine for me. I'm very aware that it was the continuation of
Season
where we
4.
left off. This did not feel like a season 5 premiere.
No. And that was always because basically they got shut down for COVID and they just like had parts of, I think it's going to be 2 episodes that are closing out. So the next one is going to be closing out season 4, I think, because it's going to be, I suspect, graduation. So they basically got shut down with like 2 episodes left in their production, and it was always the plan to make them the openers of season 5.
Well, because of that, yes.
Because of that, yeah.
But what ended up happening was it more than killed the momentum for me. I
for sure
forgot
did.
and
It
didn't
for sure
care.
did. Yeah.
And so there were sort of 2 things happening in this episode. I wished this was 2 episodes. Because I would have loved an actual just prom episode.
Me too.
Kind of like a bottle episode where...
So what I actually think is I think they actually were suspended with like, so it might have been at one point, because I think they actually were suspended.
Probably not. This show likes to bite off more than it can chew.
But I think they were suspended with actually 3 or 4 left
Okay.
in their contract, and they might have combined them so we could get to the season 5
Well,
stuff
we'll
sooner.
see. So we have... Because we still have Katie Keene cross-promotion, which rip.
If you'd also like to see our Katie Keene coverage, it's a lot more low energy, but it's also on TVCO.
So KO is in town
Yeah.
to compete with Archie in a boxing match to see who gets to go to military school.
No. It's only to see if Archie can go to military school. KO is not going to the Naval Academy.
Oh, well, so then why was he involved in that? I thought they said there was one other
Just so
student.
it was like, oh.
No, I think they were in competition because KO got it.
Well, I don't remember anything about Katie Keene. Was KO in the Navy?
It doesn't matter.
Grace was in the Navy.
I don't know, man. Look,
So
we are apparently the only ones that didn't care for Katie Keene.
So they boxed and KO won. Which,
This is just simply not how you get into military academy.
It was fine.
Nothing on this show.
I liked their little sleepover.
This show is like, whose line is anyway? Nothing makes sense and the points don't matter.
And so we did have the Archie and Betty stuff, which I am intrigued by. I have always been, I guess, Archie. Betty and Archie was always what I was more into. And I don't have any ill will with Veronica or Archie and Veronica, except for all of the terrible plots they give her.
Archiekins.
I think Camilla does what she can, but...
I think she does what she can with what they give her, which is not enough. Because she, like, whenever she, like, this episode, she kind of broke my heart. That's, like, she was good in this episode. But
well, I was surprised with the maturity and nuance they
Yeah.
handled, which you also have to imagine. First of all, they're older now. I'm just going to go ahead and say they're 18 at this point. They're graduating high school and they're fully involved in sex tapes and snuff films. So I'm just going to go ahead and
put a hard
declare
18.
they're 18 years
We're
old.
going to put a hard 18 on this. That's fine.
So, but yeah, we've been through that angst and anguish and stuff, and so I'm glad that when it finally came out, that it was handled really well. You're right; it was actually very kind of
because
touching.
then both of them, like, Veronica was like, did Betty tell Jughead that you guys kissed? And he was like, no. And she was like, well, we should keep it that way. There's no sense in blowing them up too. And I was like, oh my God, what
she
a
didn't,
like
storm across the dance floor.
you kissed my boyfriend. I was just like, what a lovely
The
response.
song. Oh my God, that was mortifying.
Oh no,
When they went to this, okay, so they trained all day for this boxing match the next day, and then decided to celebrate by going to get drunk at an underground speakeasy. That's how training works.
An underground underage speakeasy, and there was like nary a carbo loading in sight for this like boxing
so she
exhibition.
sings the song that Archie wrote for Betty to Archie.
And meanwhile,
Jughead is the only one who, like, well, Veronica didn't know at the time.
No, Veronica didn't know, but Jughead is like totally stone-faced, and meanwhile, on either side of him, Betty and Archie are like, like caveman SpongeBob.
It was, Lily Reinhart remains the greatest working actress on TV.
Correct. Yes, we know Nicole Kidman had a show this year. Shut up. Cheryl had a nothing plot. I have no idea what that was. I don't know. I think they're trying to break everybody up before we have the 5-year time jump.
That would actually be really nice. But she just sort of... I think I've made this comment before, but Cheryl is like a bird in the cage, and you just have to give her mirrors and bells to play with. Otherwise, she falls asleep.
Yeah. But again, also pretty mature handling of her, like, break with Tony that's going to happen now.
Sure. Word on the street is they're gonna give Tony some material this season.
That would be nice to see.
We'll be the first to let you know if it happens.
We've been burned before.
So we met her grandmother, who, I mean, there's story potential, but
that's the thing, is there is story potential there, but my issue with this is it's like, it's so little, so late, where it's like ham-fisted. So it's like, all of a sudden, 3 seasons into the relationship between Cheryl and Tony now has a Nana who is really against the Blossoms because they stole all of their land.
That part is established, but where does she think Tony's been living for the last 2 years?
In Thistle House. That's my thing, is like, yes, that's been established very vaguely in one episode, another, like 2 seasons ago again, but so it's like, you're right. Where do you think that Tony's been literally living for, like, going on 2 years now? And, like...
Well, I'm
she
excited.
also wouldn't take it on board that, like, Cheryl was not like her family in that regard.
That I'm fine with. That I get, because, I mean, even Cheryl, it's like you have to spend time with her to understand that. But I'm excited for the notion of Native American kind of First Nation storytelling.
Yeah.
I would love to see some of that. I would love to normalize and familiarize a lot of that stuff.
Here's the thing, though. I would love for some Native American and First Nations people to be telling those stories.
I assumed the grandmother was.
No, I mean writing those stories.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But like I said, the way that Grandma was coming in hot, it was sort of like, okay.
Yeah, she came in at 11, and she really could have, like...
Although Nana Rose, God, I mean, I've always liked Nana Rose, but she's in full-blown fairy godmother mode at this point. And so it was fine. It was whatever.
Cheryl's dress at prom was pretty great. Actually, all the dresses were pretty great.
They were fine.
I liked it. I don't care as much as you.
And then, there's still this mystery. There are still these VHS tapes that are popping up that may or may not be snuff films. I guess they are because Principal Honey is dead.
Oh.
That's what Wyatt Nash was saying.
Oh, well, and that's why we got Principal Weatherby back.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I didn't see him. Yeah, well, I didn't see if he had his finger, though.
And he was like, I forgot that he was like missing finger because he got
was the informant.
Yeah, but he got taken by the Edgar Ever and Ever called, right? The farm. Yeah. I had forgotten all about that.
So we had this like so stupid, so funny, this like film club in this town. I love it. This is not, I mean, I'm making fun of it because it's absolutely asinine. It's absurd. But yeah, so there's this like teenage / college / adult film video store that has a film club where they play quasi snuff films.
It's like snuff films and
but they're also
sex
playing
tapes.
the weird tickling. It's like in between,
but then also actual sex tapes.
Sure.
And it's also not just adults. Jellybean was invited.
Yeah, her like middle school friend invited her.
Jellybean is suspicious.
Are you calling it now?
Calling it right now. Jellybean is up to no good.
I like Jellybean.
I like Jellybean too.
Okay.
She's up to no good.
Okay.
She had those French braids.
To be fair, she's a child.
True, but she
never trust a grown woman with French braids.
She had those French braids, and she was like, "Of course, Jughead. I've never been to an X-rated snuff film party before." And I was like, "Sounds like someone who has been to an X-rated snuff film party before has been to."
That was like Gladys's like daytime job.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm choking on my own spit. Yeah, and so the person, the auteur,
yeah,
that's the person they've decided is in charge of all of this. So he's chasing them around, and
in an owl mask.
Yeah, and then at prom they were interrupted. Fucking Cheryl Blossom. So her plot is she wants to be prom queen, and then she becomes prom queen. But we know all this because Kevin and Fangs try to be prom king, and she dismisses them. Yeah. Then once she gets the crown, she decides to
have a court.
Implement a court of her own volition.
Yeah.
She just created it.
Of her own volition and own choosing. They weren't voted on.
No. And then she picks Betty and Jughead and Archie and Veronica.
Yeah. No love for Kevin. No love for Kevin and Fangs. It was a little disappointing.
Yeah. So I missed Fangs Fogarty.
Yeah.
It's been too long. But
refer to our previous coverage for that tour.
But so then the prom was interrupted and everybody fucking raged to the Talking Heads while a video played of them killing the video store guy.
Because it said David, I think, on his.
So full disclosure, our feed cut out, so we did not see the last two scenes.
I think we missed like a total of 1 full minute.
Yeah,
but it was like
from two different spots.
2 different scenes.
So we saw the scene we saw the clip where Jughead said Prom Night, the Jamie Lee Curtis movie.
Yeah.
And then we saw Hermione come to comfort Veronica, but we did not.
Not anything.
I'm assuming she said Mija.
At some point, it would be safe to assume that she said, Veronica, Mija, what's wrong?
So
that's all I can really get. We didn't talk about Hiram. He is not ill. I'm sorry. He is not recovering from whatever. He's fine, and he's being tricksy with his whole family.
I'm just gonna get a football and
just kick it, let me try to kick it. I don't know what to say about
that's whatever.
Hiram.
And then Archie came home.
Oh no, but wait, Hiram also offered Archie the deputy mayor position. Because we all know that when you get rejected from the Naval Academy for not beating a professional boxer in a fight, you get offered the deputy mayor position in your town.
That's a position that's just awarded.
Just you don't have to run for election, just like the mayor. You just get that offered to you.
Riverdale's not like regular cities.
It's like a cool city.
So Archie found a tape with, what was on the tape? He got mad. I don't know.
It was the Black Hood, but shooting him.
Yeah, reenacting their thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad Riverdale's black. I'm glad Riverdale's back.
Yay!
But also, I was gonna.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are in season 5. This could just be.
This could be the end.
So
we'll see.
We'll see.
Betty used the video of baby Hal getting like brainwashed into being a serial killer to get into the X-rated rave.
That was a good move considering the ambiguous stakes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Considering that we weren't entirely.
And they tried to make a fake snuff film with Cheryl and Reggie first. Which was
we did kind
very
of see
funny.
it, but no.
Cheryl came out with this ridiculous wig.
Well, she was afraid of being recognized, and boy howdy did it work.
It did work.
With that wig, I would have been like I could have watched the whole movie and been like, who?
Yeah, who's this? What now?
So yeah, if you want to go on this journey with us, then just check back. We're going to try and upload Wednesday nights, early Thursdays, but we'll see how it goes.
Yay.
So.